Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Moviecast, episode 611. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gast, joined by Mike Sneedy, Corey Feinsod,
Yo.
and Tony Kokonakis.
Yo.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, listeners and viewers. We are live streaming on Twitch starting 8 o'clock on Tuesday nights. Please join us. Subscribe to our channel. Following day is YouTube, so you can catch us there. If you missed the live broadcast, you can always pop over to YouTube and check that stuff out. Also, subscribe to that channel. This is the Moviecast. Welcome, everybody. And let's kick it off. We need to kick it off with trolls.
Mm-hmm.
Trolls. And we're not talking just trolls, but also trolls of the big screen. So we have internet trolls, and we actually have big screen trolls. Kicking off what I've been watching, I have watched the Lord of the Rings first two episodes of that show, and I believe, Tony, you've watched it too, right?
I watched the first episode.
Okay, I got the intrigue. I don't know. I wanted to watch it. I kept seeing their ads got me to start watching it, and like I watched the first episode, and I was like, I actually really enjoyed it, and I was like, it was not super action packed, but it was I don't know. I just found it a nice retreat from like stuff like The Boys, where it's just kind of over the top gratuitous gore. I just enjoyed it. I don't know why. And then I guess because of me watching it, I got more of the feeds through Twitter, and like I got to see the cesspool that is the Lord of the Rings series right now getting review bombed by I don't even know why. Like I am not a big Tolkien reader, so maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
No,
but I don't know what the gripes are for this show, because I really enjoyed the second episode.
The gripe is that the main character is Galadriel, who's a strong female character, and people don't like it. And
That's
to
what I
another
thought.
extent, what the other main lead is a black male, and people are up in arms that apparently you can't have people of color in a fictional fantasy series. So,
That's what I don't understand.
it's Star Wars all over again. It's Star. It literally is Star Wars all over again.
The trolls make it the worst of the they make it the worst, and I have to say that as we've had we'll talk.
See,
about,
troll. In my opinion, troll is too light of a term. These people are just anonymous, misogynistic neckbeards of the internet.
Neckbeards.
They're neckbeards of the internet.
It's its own creature class.
Yes.
It's perfect. No, listen, guys. If you're looking at a fantasy series that's not, I mean, listen, it's not like mega action packed, but I gotta say that like the interactions between the elf and the dwarf, trying to be as vague as possible for the second episode, I got a smile on my face. I just really enjoyed it. Like it reminded me of the fun Legolas and
banter.
Gimli,
Yeah.
I think.
Gimli.
Yeah, banter. Like the Gimli. Yeah, it just reminded me of that, and it's like it captured that moment so well, and I'm just like, I really am enjoying this show like a lot. Like I literally was like watching it and smiling. That's how much I'm enjoying the show, and I just kudos to Amazon for not trying to step up to Game of Thrones level in terms of, because that's just, it's over the top. Like, I'm sorry, mild spoilers for House of Dragons. You have to watch a birth, like they have to cut the baby out of this woman and kill her while they're birthing of a baby, and it's just like, it is ridiculous how bad. Like, again, like I've talked to you guys about The Boys and how it's like very hard for me to finish that show. I just don't want that right now. Maybe it's where I'm at in life. I just don't want it. Like this was a enjoyable fantasy show where like it has scary moments, it's got action in it, and it's enjoyable, and it's not like, ew, what the hell's all that, it's like I'm not getting that.
Yeah, and I mean, to your point, and I'll just say first of all, I enjoyed the first episode a lot. I'm really excited to dig into the second episode as well, and then the third I think is releasing this week. But it's fun. I mean, the budget values, like you would tell, this is movie caliber, special effects, cinematography, acting, everything. Like you watch it, you're like, damn, this is a movie level budget for a TV series.
Just that, like, again, go back to the troll, like just the first area of that episode with the troll, like it's very early. There's like a mountain troll or snow troll.
Yeah.
I was like, this looks awesome.
Fantastic.
Like, wow. Yeah. It doesn't. It also helps that it has the largest budget ever for a TV show. They spent millions, probably $1 billion.
Almost $1 billion.
Yeah. Just creating. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's $100 million an episode. It's less, but I think it's 10 episodes. But still, it's insane. But the budget is it's there.
You can see it. Yeah. It's good. It's good.
it's really good, and give Amazon massive credit for not caving to these people and just sticking to it. And in fact, today they announced that they're embargoing reviews from users
Mm-hmm.
for 72 hours after the episode goes. And I'm like, I'm cool
Oh
with this
yeah, I
'cause
mean exactly.
I'm
This is
confused. Like, what do you mean by caved? Like, what are they caving to? Like, if they
not that I
caved, what
mean
does that
they're
mean?
not. I mean, casting more white act. I don't even know. Like, what are people upset about? I don't even know. Like,
Well, I, mean,
not
it's not, I
a
don't really
strong
know
female
the
lead.
story here. I'm just saying. It sounded like was there problems before there, like when they were making this show? Like, it sounds
No, I
like all this
guess
stuff is coming from now that it's.
I mean, there's always a
it's
little
basically
blowback,
gotten.
but there's always a little
Yeah.
blowback when the casting is announced and stuff like that. But people don't for in mass the neckbeards don't come out in force until they see the trailers, they see screenshots, they see footage, then they're like, "This isn't my token. This isn't my Lord of the Rings. Fuck you, Amazon, SJWs, blah blah blah."
Yeah, it's just there's no need for it because I'll tell you, it's just it reminds me of He-Man. Like it reminds me of there's a great show here. Like you're missing out because of your bias. Like you're missing
And
it.
then they'll never enjoy it, so it's not.
Yeah,
fair.
Right, but it's one thing if they're never going to enjoy it. It's another thing for them to actively review bomb it
and try to ruin it for other people.
and trying to
you know what I
ruin
mean?
it
Like,
for it. Right.
because what if it
No,
like
no,
like
I understand.
if you're like looking at a show and you see it's getting like a 40, 40 out of 100. I mean, are you probably gonna check that out? You probably won't check it out right away. But that also hurts the show because it's got such a huge budget.
Right.
It needs that.
And we've
viewership.
already seen this happen. Like, was it 2 years ago with Rotten Tomatoes? They shut down or they limited audience scores.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it was either for Star Wars or something else that got review bomb. I forget what it was exactly, but it's the same
It
exact
could be
situation.
a Snyder film, or it could be any of the
No, it wasn't a
non-Snyder
Snyder
film. It could be a DC film.
I forget what it was, but it's just stupid because that's the only symbol of power these fucking neckbeards feel they have in mass is review bombing something, and this happens in video games too. We've seen it with video games,
Yeah.
and it's just stupid and it's pathetic, and these people have nothing to do
It's the
with their
worst
lives
part.
other than this. So
It's the worst part of the internet. It's just it makes it not fun. And I mean, listen, I'm so happy I checked it out because it's a great show. I highly recommend it to people. Don't listen to the review bombers.
The thing
Watch
is,
it
like,
and
when it
enjoy.
comes
Like, you
to
can.
reviews, like
Yeah.
people review bomb everything. It does if it's
No.
good, if it's bad, they'll review bomb everything. If
Exactly.
They don't like it.
So
Doesn't
you don't
matter
know.
the quality.
You don't know.
That's why
Exactly.
you have to like either go by like the people you trust. If you know somebody that you like and follow those and like oh, I like this, or
Yeah.
if it's a property that you enjoy, it's like, oh, I'm gonna check it out because I enjoy this IP or whatever. I'm gonna see what it's like, regardless of the things. Like Wheel of Time got terrible reviews. Everyone said it's terrible, but like I still checked it out because like what, I gotta see for myself.
As a
And it
fan,
was
yeah, you have to
validated.
do it.
I mean, unfortunately, it's validated, but here, it's like people review bombing it for no reason. It seems like, but it's not.
There's no
IP is
purpose
not
for it.
as
Like
interesting to me.
Well,
So
I mean,
you
This
can
is-
not like something and just literally say I was bored by it, and that's totally fine. But like to
it's okay
rant
for them
about
to even say it's not for them, but
sure.
I don't think I've never really paid any attention to user reviews. I don't think anyone should, especially now that this is so common. There's always a
It
movement,
just yeah,
and
there is a movement. for-
whether you want to go the journalist
both
chill route,
extremes also.
route or not, I think professional critics they have
I
more
will say,
accountability.
listen,
And if you want to look at something like that, it's normally a better place to look if you're
But I
going to
will
pay
say that,
attention to
like,
anything like that.
the critical reviews of this have been excellent, like the critic reviews.
Yeah, the
and,
critical
and
reviews are great.
Thank God for that, because if there was like some negative there, like I think this would be in the abyss of nothing.
That's the thing,
But
though.
most of
You
it's
get
very positive.
People like, oh, I'm gonna give this a 1 because there's so many 10s, or I'll give this a 10 because there's so many 1s, just for no
People
reason
also-
other than to do that. It's like,
Yeah.
so yeah.
There's
user
no
reviews are
nuance
just really
for
pointless.
user reviews.
Almost.
I mean, you get
No
that-
nuance.
You get that in everything. Like you get the writers who vote in the Hall of Famers who just don't vote for a Hall of Famer even though it's clearly a Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? You get that constantly for
Yeah.
critics.
Yeah.
But like
I mean,
to review bomb something for this reason
right.
is just
right,
ridiculous.
so the other thing is too is that I agree, with Mike, and I've said this before that user reviews for the most part, I mean, even critic reviews, I would go to say they matter less and less, really, in reality. In terms of like a numbered score, like I think the number score is going, by the wayside. Rotten Tomatoes just pushed that even further as that got popular, and really we're gonna see, I think, as time goes on, we're gonna see something, just back up to what was his name? or what was their name? The thumbs up, thumbs down system.
Skull and Ebert.
Thank you. I had it. I was like, Ardbert? That was a Final Fantasy character. I'm like, no, that's not
Not
right.
a bad idea.
Stuff like
That's
that.
not a bad.
But honestly,
not a bad standard.
Right? It's going to probably go to something like that because the thing is, it was one thing when you actively had to spend money, like going to see a new movie in the movie theater. You're paying, you're going to pay $20 per ticket, just about these days, unless you're seeing a matinee. Factor in, the gas, the popcorn, drinks, anything like that. So it was important to pick and choose the movies that you want to see in the theaters. It's not like just like, whatever, I'll go see a movie. If it's bad, it's bad. I mean, there's certainly people out there, but reviews for the most part, to me and the people I know, limited view here, but it's just reviews were to guide, like, should you see this movie in the theater or should you wait for a DVD, Blu-ray, whatever, or, way down the line on syndicated television, something like that. And now, with streaming service and stuff like that, you're already subscribed to the service, So, I mean, there are people who probably would subscribe to see Lord of the Rings or Stranger Things or whatever. But, I mean, it's way less of a barrier entry when it's like, okay, you could sub for 1 month, for $15, $10, whatever it is. Even if that one thing is bad, you could be like, okay, well, I'm sure I can find something else to watch for the remainder of the month and stuff like that. So I think the price factor is less of a consideration, especially when it comes to reviews. But also, what they could do is kind of like when Steam does it. When you have Steam reviews, you can see how long a player has played that game. Like it's factored into the review. Yeah. So if somebody is like just being, and I mean, not to say this isn't a problem on Steam. Games have certainly been review bombed on Steam, and I think they had to change the way they calculated things and stuff like that too. But you could take that with a grain of salt, like, and stuff like that. When somebody writes an actual review of a game that says why I liked this or why I didn't like it, you could see like user played, this many hours and stuff like that.
They don't even let you write a review unless you've played an hour.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing is, like, it surprises me that if Amazon doesn't let you do it, I've never reviewed something on Amazon or given it a rating, but it's just like, why would you let somebody review Lord of the Rings if you're like, oh, their account hasn't seen any Lord of the Rings? Like, it just is really weird to me.
It's tougher with video just because, it's like hour episodes, 2-hour movies.
Fuck them. Make them watch it. Make them watch it.
I'm not saying that it's again. I
have to searched for that.
But like as far as analytics go these days, like before it was a little tougher. I think these days though, you can absolutely tell how long someone's been watching the show because that's all how they make money, right? Is like the length of viewership and like how long you're actually staying engaged in whatever content you're producing.
Yeah,
it's absolutely a factor. It could be like, hey, if you haven't watched the 51% of this show, like this episode, you can't review it or something.
Right, exactly. And the thing is, that should be weighted, if we want to be big brain about this. But also, I would say, don't even let them review it if they haven't had like a certain percentage, 10% or 20% or whatever. Because this way, even in the worst case scenario, even if some fucking neckbeard wanted to review bomb this, be Lord of the Rings, we'll just keep using that as an example, or Rings of Power specifically, be like, fuck Amazon, I'm gonna review bomb this, and then they load it up and they turn it on, they mute the tab and they walk away. Fuck them. They review bomb your thing, and guess what? You got a view out of them, and that adds to your metrics, that adds to your everything like that. Well. Exactly.
Exactly.
So fuck them. That's what they should do. That's what I would do.
They should do that. Yeah. Definitely. Yep. I mean, I gotta give them credit. They're throwing the Rings of Power are being thrown in your face everywhere. That kind of got me interested in it. Like it's all over my feed on Amazon. So I'm like, I queued it up a while back, and
it did break records, I believe, for Amazon's Prime service.
I watched that first episode like right when it launched, and I just finished the second episode. I watched it tonight, so I watched that, and I really enjoyed that. I really got me wanting the third episode now. So I'm like, okay, it's starting to hit its stride now. So it's good. So all right. Others we watched again. She-Hulk. I know that a bunch of us probably watched She-Hulk. Listen, I don't know if I came off wrong last week. I want to at first say I do really enjoy this show quite a bit. I
mean, hit it wrong. I think
I think people thought I was down more on it than I am. I really enjoy the show. I just wish the CG was better. I can't say that enough. I really do.
No, I mean, that's an opinion. Like, the thing is, Jim, you're allowed to have your opinion. And, I mean, I agree that I wish the CGI was better. It's just, in the grand scheme of things, do I want Disney, do I want Marvel spending $200 million on CGI budget for She-Hulk when it's not really an action-oriented series.
No, I got you
Like
there.
I,
Yeah.
I, I, pers-
I got
I
you there,
personally
that's
don't care.
true.
I'd rather shift them, to something else.
I mean, this was a
Daredevil or
great.
whatever.
This was a great episode. I mean, this was full of laughs. I mean,
Right? This is a great episode.
I really enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, and I spoiled the 6. I was
Mike-
like, this is just so fun.
I
Like,
don't like it.
Mike, this is like a pickup
I
episode.
watched
like,
it. I watched
good.
all of them. I
Good,
watched them. And I think CGI is not the biggest problem with the show. I mean, I accept that it's okay, and the character is going to look
fine.
kind of like that. But the show, I don't know. It just seems a little corny to me. I'm like, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
I mean
need
that's
It is
that
supposed
much.
to be. I think they're going for that.
It's
They're going for that
fine,
campy
but,
cheese.
I'm like, all right, I could take or leave
Campiness,
this.
over the
We'll
top.
see.
But I really enjoyed this episode with Wong.
And
Willis, but
we
there
don't
are
have
some
and
timeline things that are a little weird with this episode, but just as far
You know, I
as
just-
how does he know things that happened?
yeah, but I definitely enjoyed this quite a bit with it.
we have the first sort of indication of any sort of arc to the show.
There
really.
is some things going on. We find out, yes. So
How many?
I don't know.
And we don't know how many episodes are there
9.
going to be.
9.
9.
Yeah, I think it was 9.
9 or 10?
9 or
Yeah.
10. There might be 10.
It's more than the typical because it's only half hour or
Yeah,
20 minutes.
It might be 10. But yeah, it's I just they have a great show. I think what frustrates me the
I
most
don't
though,
need
is that
the
they have a
fourth
great
wall
show.
breaks. I don't need that.
No.
And I don't.
Yeah.
I don't like.
Some
them.
people
I
don't
think
like
they're-
those.
But
You're right,
I
some
mean,
people
that's the
don't like them.
character, though. So I mean, it's staying true to the comic, Mike.
Yeah.
It's staying true to the comic. Remember, you
Does she
criticized
do
it.
this like
Yes.
like Deadpool.
Yes,
Exactly. That's like this character is a Deadpool.
I think she did that before Deadpool. Actually,
No,
not one.
I don't think it was before Deadpool.
Really? I don't know.
Deadpool did it first, and then